Welcome back, everyone, to the Discipline to Gens podcast. I'm sorry we are late. We're getting some comments here coming in. Someone's going to buy us a clock.
Thank you, Bella.
We're running a little behind today. The studio is under construction. It's been a rough few days for me. Gino's been loving it with 49ers. I got to put this damn shirt on here in a second. But it is NFL Week 14. Just so all of you know, we have moved the show to Thursdays now, so it will be every single Thursday from here out the rest of the season and probably next year as well. We did that for a number of reasons, but most importantly, we want to have closer lines and odds that reflect the actual game odds, Thursday Night Football and then going into the weekend. So if you're watching the pod right now, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. And last but not least, go make an account, betopenly.com, peer-to-peer betting, best lines and odds, player props, DFS. You can bet now against the house and peer-to-peer as well. First things first, I got to pay the debt. So
pay the debt, bro. I got my loudest, ugliest 1980s Niners. You can fit it on top.
I'm going to put it right over top so they don't got to see my fat ass on camera.
Is your head bigger than mine? I got a pretty big head. Oh, that's like a glove. You look good. He's a good-looking Niners fan, my dudes. Look at this handsome Niner fan. Look at this handsome Niner fan. I'm over here looking all professional. Wifey had me. I got 2 Santa appointments. This was one, and next week's another Santa appointment.
This is unbelievable.
Look at this good-looking Niners fan, my dudes.
All I know is we're 1-1 now, and if we see, because I made Gino wear Eagles shit last year, and that was in the playoffs when it actually mattered. So he got me back this time. We'll see what happens in the postseason. So let's dive into it. I'm just going to get it out of the way with 49ers dominate my Eagles in Philly. Jalen Hurts comes off the field for a little bit, looks a little banged up. There's now David Carr, who's the Gooseman guy, saying that Marcus Mariota should be starting for the Eagles. Some crazy shit there. I think he's just trying to get clicks and views online. But what are your thoughts, honest thoughts on the game? Because it ended up being a blowout. But early on in the game,
I think you're gonna like what I have to say.
We were up 6-0. We could have been up 14-0.
Yeah.
And the game just, I knew that was gonna come back and bite us, right? Like, because we just moved the ball at will the first 2 possessions, and then we had to settle for field goals.
I think you're gonna like my assessment.
Yeah.
So your defense was on the field more than any team in the NFL by far the last 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. You showed what you can do against us when you have like full energy, and I think you guys just burnt out. I think we broke you down. So we had the long wait, we had since Thanksgiving till then, where you were in overtime the previous week. So I think a game will be a lot closer. I think the first half was a better depiction of our 2 teams than the game results. I really do.
No, I agree. And we had just a tough schedule in general. I mean, I should have known going to the game, like when you look at, forget the team names and who's playing. A 10-1 team at home as a 2.5 3-point dog. That just tells you all
Vegas
you need
knows
to
what's
know.
up.
They just knew that was going to happen. So, next question I have for you. I don't know if we have a slide for this one. No, yes, we do. Is Brock Purdy the MVP? So, if you guys follow us on Twitter, I tweeted at Gino. There's if you're familiar with Prop Swap, it's an online site where if you have a future bet, you can literally sell your ticket to someone else that can buy it. Right now, Brock Purdy is plus 300. He's tied with Dak Prescott, and then Jalen Hurts is third in the race. So plus 300 to Dak, plus 300 to Purdy, plus 350 to Jalen. Right now, that guy wants to sell his ticket for $40,000. If Purdy wins the MVP, that ticket pays out $200,000. So you guys in the comments tell us, if you had 40 grand laying around, would you buy in on Brock Purdy right now to win 200 grand? Because I'm looking at the numbers, bro, and I think he's going to win it. I really do think he's going to win it. So I even would say to you, let's look at maybe even going 20 because I think it's going to hit. I really do.
So one, that ticket's true value right now on the market is $60K.
Yeah.
So he's selling it for 33% off. Not bad. That's not bad. That's pretty damn good EV.
If you selling it for 40,
he's giving us 33% off of $60K.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so it's a 33% discount from what it's worth right now.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. I just hate buying high. We're buying Brock off of that win. But the reason I like it, and this will come out later, I think there's a lot of value on the Eagles money line this week. And if Dak does not do well and Purdy does, that ticket will shoot up where Brock goes down to plus 150 and Dak jumps to plus 5.
That's my fear. But the flip side, if Dak has a 4 TD game at home against the Eagles, he's gonna, I think, become the favorite.
He would absolutely become the favorite.
It's really tough. But like, look, at the end of the day, if we were gonna go bet 40K on a sports book right now on Brock Purdy, that would pay 120 grand.
120.
We could buy this ticket for 40 and it pays 200 grand. So I don't know, bro.
Dude, I'm down. I know Prop Swap too. I actually have their founders' email in my like we could send them an email easily. I think they take Bitcoin too.
Bella says I'd spend 40 G's to have dinner with the boys. We're in, bro. We're in for that.
Bella's getting us a clock.
We're in for that.
Actually, Bella is buying us the Brock Purdy ticket, and then we're showing up to dinner to get it. That's the cost, my dude.
Yeah, I really hope it's not Dak. You know, that if we spent 40 bands on Purdy and Dak ended up winning the MVP, I would go into a deep depression for so many reasons.
I was thinking about buying it with you just to have it sealed, framed above my desk in my office.
And I think it'd be cool content too.
Dude, it's nasty. We'll talk about it for sure. I don't see a rush. I really don't think Brock will pull away this week.
The downside is Dak shits the bed this week.
I know. Then it shoots up in value.
Then I think, So, all right, we'll move it on. Dolphins in the AFC. Tyreek Hill, huge weekend. This dude, Tyreek Hill, has an argument for the MVP. I don't care if he's not a quarterback. My question to you, Gino, can the Miami Dolphins be the number 1 seed in the AFC? So right now, the Chiefs are plus 220 to win the AFC. Ravens plus 270. The Dolphins are third at plus 310. Who would you buy on today out of those three?
Matty, we got to toot our horn real quick. 2-3 weeks ago, we gave out the Dolphins at plus 500.
Yeah. And I gave out Dolphins preseason AFC winners preseason. So they're right there.
I think the AFC is wide open. I do not like that Chiefs bet at all. And on Bet Open, you can bet inverses. I would take the Chiefs not to win the AFC at minus 220. I think Baltimore still should be lower than Miami. Miami hasn't done a lot against winning teams yet. We need to see that, and we're going to get 2 chances to see that in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
But the Miami defenses look damn good since they got
right. Well, here's what I'll say about the Dolphins. So I've been on record saying I don't think anyone stops the Chiefs out of the AFC. I know they have their issues. But I just think defensively they're better than they've ever been as a team. And I think I can just count on, as long as they're healthy, Mahomes and Kelsey and co are going to figure it out in the postseason. The problem I have now, the only concern I have is if the Dolphins defense is just 80% as good as the Chiefs, they're way more explosive. And I think that home field advantage is going to be massive. Like whoever has it.
It's definitely, and what the Chiefs showed me this week versus Packers is Mahomes used to be able to make some mistakes and make up for them. Now he needs to play mistake-free football. Yeah, their offense is very questionable.
They also have a big game coming up.
Of course, there was a terrible look at that photo. Great photo. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm still mad. Someone had to educate me. I didn't know this, guys. After that one Rams guy tackled the Saint to go to the Super Bowl, so they made a rule.
They changed the rule and they changed it back.
What they should have just edited the rule a little bit.
I think the rule should be in place during the postseason.
Or there should be a guy on every game. We're all come on, man. There's 20 million people watching every game or whatever. 10 million people. I don't even know the numbers. Prime time I'm talking about. Why not have an extra ref in the booth that can throw a flag in the booth for blatant stuff? Yeah. Just blatant stuff that's missed. I don't know. Seems like a no-brainer.
All right. Well, let's move on. We'll dive into Thursday Night Football since that game starts in a couple hours here. So let's get right into it. Is this the lowest total of the season?
Lowest total in the last 18 years.
Okay. So the Patriots I'm seeing plus 5.5. Is that number?
5.5.
Plus 5.5.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at.
30.5. That is a key number. That number was at 32. It's at 30.5. 17-14 now goes over, which is
now it's 6.
So it's up to a 6.
Patriots back up to 6.
This is a 6.5. Crazy low scoring game. 88% of the tickets are on Pittsburgh. Here's some trends for you. The Steelers 27-11 at home off a loss in their last 38 games. Under is hit in 15 of the Patriots' last 20 games off a loss. And the Patriots are 6-13 against the spread coming off a loss in their last 20 games. What are your thoughts here for Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, this is why I'm glad we moved this to today, guys. I can give them an accurate DD card, and we don't have to like make guesses from 2 days from now. Yeah. I gave out Patriots money line first half. I actually believe that is way too high. When I gave it out, it was plus 188. It's down to plus 170, but I had the true line here as plus 160. So I still like the Patriots first half money line. I'm not sure they're going to win this game. But there's a really good system, guys, and I hope I don't lose you. Just listen up real quick. When a team has been shut out in the last 20 years, there's a system that's almost up 40 units that team covers the next game. So that immediately puts the Patriots, and of those 40-something units, 67 or 70% of them were when that team was on the road after getting shut out. Yeah. So the Patriots check both those boxes. There's a lot of reasons. So my official play is going to be Patriots plus 6. And then my high upside play is first half money line.
Yeah. Yeah. I like New England in the over here just because this total is so low. And 6 points in a game where the total's 30.5. I mean, it's ugly. I get it, but like you almost have to default to the 6 points there.
It's not even just 6 points. It's 6 points from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who we've said now for 6 weeks shouldn't be giving up a lot of points.
Right.
Weren't they giving 5.5 or 6 to Arizona?
Yeah, they lost outright. Yeah.
Their offense isn't right. And again, there is some counter reasons.
The Patriots held the Chargers to 6 last week and they didn't score.
And the Chargers offense is substantially better than Pittsburgh.
Yeah. That game makes no sense to me.
I like the first half over here too. I gave it out at 14.5. It's now 16.5. It's not much of a difference, guys. Just 14.5 to 16 is like very minimal hook, but I'm with you. So I think we're dog to the over. Yeah. This would be the 4th primetime game in a row with an over. Vegas is getting all their money back.
Yeah, you nailed it a couple of shows ago. You said it was going to start turning, and it has. So, all right, let's dive into Sunday. Division game here. Detroit Lions at Chicago. The Lions are a 3-point favorite on the road. Over under 43 here. 84% of the tickets are on the Lions. Around the same amount of money on the Lions as well. Bears are 9-17 against the spread, coming off a win in their last 26. Bears are also 7-13 straight up off a win in their last 20. Under is hit in 13 of the Bears' last 20 games at home, coming off a win. The one thing I'll say about this game, Bears are like the healthiest team in the NFL right now.
It's wild.
They have depending on what injury report you're looking at, there's 2 total injuries, 3 on some, and one's I think like an illness or something. So they're the healthiest team in the NFL right now. They're at home in a division game. And the Lions defense just does not look right to me. I know you've been high on their defense earlier in the season.
They agree.
But they get these big leads and they almost blow them. And then they have these, they lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving. They're giving up not only points, but they're letting teams kind of move the ball at will here. I got to wonder if a healthy Bears team at home in a division game can win this game outright. What do you think?
Dude, this is home division dog late in the season. That's a system for the Bears. I got a piece of data right here. Since 2013, the Bears are only 8-13 against the Lions, and 7 of those 8 wins were Matt Nagy. So that shows you how it's been a while since that happened. So there's a lot of reasons to point at the Lions, but then to Matty's point, something's not right with this Detroit defense. They went from a top 5 defense in the NFC to now what I saw the Saints do to them. The Saints gave away that game. They had every chance to cover. They had a chance to win even after that in the beginning. And they're not an offensive powerhouse. They're actually Carr's having one of the worst seasons imaginable. Only thing worse is Jimmy G. The 2 of them's trade and all that, complete disaster. So, man, it's going to be really hard for me not to take the Bears plus 3.5 here. And the only thing that I like the over in this game as well, 43.5.
Yeah, it's a small number. These teams just played. It was 31-26.
There is just a light at the end of the season, guys. So week 10 or later, 12 or later, just watch for division games. Unders do hit more than overs. This is just one game where I would stay away from the over-under because I have that system, but I do believe without that system that this game goes over. I think both teams could put up 24.
Yeah, I lean the over here, and I lean the Bears. I think we're aligned there. It's a weird game though. 43, that's crazy to me. The total's that low. So, all right, moving on here. Colts versus Bengals. Another interesting game here. Colts are a 1-point favorite at Cincinnati, right? So Cincinnati coming off of a big upset win.
Yeah, and this is flipped.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's now a 1-point
So
favorite.
Cincinnati's now a 1-point favorite now at home. And it's interesting, right? Because the Colts, we forget this team's 7-5. They could win the AFC South. Like everyone's talking about Jags, Texans. The Colts are right there. So this is a very important game for Indianapolis.
I think the Colts are getting disrespected.
Yeah, the Bengals 14-5 coming off a win in their last 19 games. Obviously, that's what Joe Burrow under his hit in 16 of the Bengals' last 23 games coming off a win as well. Here's what's interesting. Colts have won 3 straight games on the road. And this season, their offense has actually been better than Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense. The Bengals have been 20th in scoring. Colts have been 8th in scoring. Colts are like kind of just an under the radar decent team, And
bro, we gotta love Minshew.
Now they're a dog here on the road at Cincinnati. This is kind of a good spot, I think, for Indianapolis here because Bengals just come off that big upset win. And look, I've been high on Jake Brown, and I was wrong on him 2 weeks ago. And then last week he finally looked good, which I knew he was capable of. But now I'm just like, damn, like Colts are a dog now on the road with Joe Burrow out. Like, what do you think?
Dude, I'm all over the Colts here. I put the Colts, I think I moved them to 14th in my power rankings. They're clearly in the playoff hunt, if not take the division now. Jacksonville's really hurt. I think we saw he's not that hurt though.
Yeah, so they're saying he
was practicing.
He's practicing already. He's questionable for this weekend.
Which they shouldn't rush him back. But I think the Colts have more to lose in this game, and I think they come out showing it. And I think their offensive imbalance. This will be my first play of this show so far where I'm going against sharp money. So, and just so you guys know, when I talk sharp, it's like the system plays the syndicates, people professionally bet. And I don't do that. The difference of me and them is I pick at least a couple games a week to go against that. I can't get around the eye test of the Colts. And I think I'm selling Cincy high. So I think the Colts are in a better position to take this game at plus 108 money line. I'll be all over the Colts. And this might be my first under that I like too. I think the Colts can also hold Cincy to minimal. Jacksonville's defense hasn't been looking good either. I think the Colts can compete here.
Yeah. I don't really have a lean on the total here, but I do like Indy. I hate that it's really against the line movement here. But I'll get plus money on them by Sunday. I mean, it's already plus money, but maybe get like plus 120 on them.
Oh, I think so.
By Sunday, I think it's a no-brainer. So I would lean Indianapolis here for sure.
I believe, yeah, I think it's both the public and a little bit of sharps are coming in on Cincy. They liked what they saw, but I'm going to take the Colts.
Yeah. All right, moving on here. Rams versus Ravens. Rams are getting 7.5 here at Baltimore. Over under 39.5. 78% of the tickets are on the Ravens, but there is a little bit more money coming in on the Rams here. Tyler Higbee questionable, Puka questionable, Rashad Bateman for the Ravens questionable with an illness. Rams have won 3 straight games, 2 of which have been blowouts. They're now 6-6, and they're in the hunt for a wild card here. Ravens are very banged up. Lamar's sick with an illness. Bateman's sick. Mark Andrews on the IR. J.K. Dobbins on the IR. Like, what are your thoughts here? Because 7.5 points, is that bait? Like, is that a trap?
It feels like bait. Dude, I almost like dog of the week, not my official dog of the week play, but value-wise, I think the Rams are the livest plus 300 money line dog on the slate.
The Rams are my dog of the week. I like the 7.5. I've hit dog of the weeks against the Ravens on big upsets earlier this year. I took the Colts, I think it was plus 330. I think that was like week 3 or 5 or somewhere in that range. But I don't know. I just think there's good value spots betting against the Ravens. They're streaky as big favorites sometimes. So I like the Rams in this spot plus 7.5. I like the sprinkle on a money line. I think the Rams are kind of slowly starting to kind of figure it out here.
They really are.
And, they're 3-3 on the road this season. They're coming off of 2 straight games, winning by double digits at home against the Browns, on the road against Arizona. And then we see Arizona turn around and win at Pittsburgh. So that win has kind of aged well to beat that team at home by 23 points. Like, they beat the Seahawks here by a point. That 4 weeks ago at Green Bay, that was a bad loss, but I think they've really turned it around since then. 3 straight wins, 2 of 3 have been blowouts. I don't know how you can't like the 7.5 here, especially with how banged up this Ravens team is.
I think like you, the only thing I don't like is that it's 7.5 and not like
I know
5.5. I would love them at 5.5.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, obviously, Baltimore, they can put up points and their defense is pretty nasty. So this will be an interesting game for me. The only way I bet this game is Rams money line.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, moving on. What we got here?
I guess I could sneak one more in. I actually really like the under in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Rams
I think it dropped a lot.
Yeah, I think the Rams have a chance to really compete defensively against the Ravens.
Yeah. All right, Bucks at Atlanta. Tampa Bay is a 1.5-point dog here. Over under 41.5. 67% of the tickets on Tampa Bay. More of the money coming in on Atlanta. Some trends in the game. Falcons are 5-13-3 against the spread, coming off a win. Falcons are 6-15 off a win in their last 21 games straight up. And the under is hit in 15 of the Falcons' last 21 games, coming off a win. I don't know about you, but it feels like the Bucks are kind of like falling off a cliff here. They barely beat the Panthers, which everyone is covered against the Panthers.
We gave out you and I both gave out the Panthers plus 5.5. It ended up kicking off at 4. We still covered on that back door. Dirty back door.
They barely beat the Panthers after losing 2 games straight, and the Falcons have been playing well defensively. I kind of think the Falcons roll at home here. I kind of like the under as well. I can see like 21-17 type of game. Atlanta, what do you like?
Dude, I've had a hard time reading these Bucks this year. Yeah. They started off hot, then they came back to earth, and they get worse. This is kind of the be-all, end-all for them. One crappy team is making it out of this division.
Yeah.
And if the Bucks can win this game, they're back in the hunt. So, man, I like the under in this game.
I do too. I think that's the best bet in the game.
Yeah, I think Atlanta is projecting a little higher because of how, what they did against the Saints a couple weeks back. I like the under first and foremost, under 41. Again, that division late in the season.
I'm with you.
And then this could maybe be a Matty parlay under the dog. I do like the Bucks money line. I wouldn't take the points. I would just take the plus 113.
Yeah. Yeah, I think under is the best bet in the game. I mean, if you look at Atlanta's defense, held the Jets to 8, held the Saints to 15, held the Cardinals to 25 at Arizona, not the worst result in the world. So the last 3 games, giving up an average of what? Like 14, 15 points.
Seems like it, yeah.
So, they're playing well defensively. They're at home. I don't really trust Tampa Bay to score a lot on the road, and Tampa Bay's red zone defense is pretty good. So, I think under 41.5 is the best bet in the game for me.
I like it.
All right. Moving on here. Texans versus Jets. This one's interesting because the Texans are a 3.5-point road favorite, over under 33. I'm willing to bet that this game could actually end up being lower scoring than tonight's Thursday Night Football game. What do you think about that?
Dude, it's a pretty epic call. These are 2 really good defenses. I think people forget because CJ Stroud's getting all the fame that the Texans have put together a nice defense under DeMeco Ryans. So these 2 coaches know each other really well. If you guys don't know, this is the Niners offensive coordinator versus the Niners defensive coordinator from 2 years ago. So I really, really like the under in this game just because these coaches know each other very well, and that always favors unders. Excuse me. What am I talking about? These were our back-to-back defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
This was both Saleh and then Saleh's replacement, DeMeco. So I'm sorry, guys. I slipped up.
Right.
Defensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator trained underneath each other. It's kind of the inverse of if Shanahan got the Dolphins. So I think Matty just gave you the sharpest play possible this week, this under in an insanely boring game, a 13-10 kind of game. There's a lot of systems pointing at the Jets, like a lot. But I just think the Texans are they have too much going for them. The quarterback imbalance is too much for the Jets to overcome.
So the Jets were getting 6 points.
And it cut down really quick.
They announced Zach Wilson as a starter, and Vegas said, hey, Zach Wilson compared to the Jets backup is worth 2.5 points.
Wow.
And they moved it from 6 to 3.5. So I thought that was really interesting. And here's the thing, though. It's like, it's like your ex-girlfriend coming back to you, and now you're back in the relationship, but you're not feeling great about it. I gotta wonder what that locker room is like for the Jets. The Texans, man, I actually think I want to ask you a question. I want to do an AFC South parlay for the top 3 AFC South teams, all 3 to win their game this weekend. Because if you look at that division right now, they all have winnable games, and they're all neck and neck right here. So I want to see what you think about this. But right now, if you look in the stand-ins.
Yeah, while you pull that up, I really think, again, I hate critiquing Robert Saleh because I like him. I love what he did with the Niners. He's fucked up that quarterback situation like 3 different times, dude. They don't have anyone better than Zach Wilson. He should have been told he is our starter all year. Yeah. We got to do what we can to get wins. If we get our other quarterback back, Rodgers, awesome. His benching, pulling out, the drama, it's a joke, man. He did this 2 years ago too. Yeah, complete mistake.
So what do you think about this? So the AFC South division, Jags are 8-4, Colts are 7-5, Texans are 7-5. So it's neck and neck between those 3 teams, and then the Titans at the bottom of the division. Jags are a 1-point dog on the road. We go Jags money line, leg 1 parlay. Colts 1 point. What is it? 1 point favorite on the road now? Or
no, they became a dog.
So we go Jags money line,
Colts
money line, Texans money line,
the AFC South,
the AFC South parlay. All 3 teams to just win, and all still be competitive in the top of that division. I seriously think that's going to hit.
I can tell you what it pays.
Let's hear it.
Well, we're jumping ahead, but I do like your Jags money line. Yeah. I'll say that. Did you give Texans that you just want the dogs? Colts
money line, Texans money line, and Jags money line.
Colts,
all
Texans.
3 AFC South teams to win this week and keep that division competitive.
Because the Jags are favorite. No, sorry. Texans are favorite.
Texans, yeah. The Texans are the chalky play at.
Yeah. Plus 717.
10.
1 unit pays 7.17.
I like it.
That's not bad. Matty just gave you a 7-unit parlay, my dudes. The AFC South. Yeah. Maybe the AFC South's better than everyone thinks. I do think of all what you just said, I do think the Jags are getting disrespected a little bit. Of course, I love their quarterback, but I'm going to take the Jags over the Colts. We're jumping all around here, but that's the next game, guys. To feed into Matty's parlay, I like Jags money line. I hate, again, this will be my second unsharp play, so we'll call it a square play. I like the Texans against the Jets. I don't like giving up 3.5. I think
like
it's
their
too
money
close.
line. I think the Texans money line as a parlay piece
they're going to find a way to win.
Spot. Yeah, you just can't trust the Jets to pull out a win here, and I think you can trust CJ Stroud, but the game could be closer than some people think. So
and we'll get you all a Matty clip because I need as many clips of Matty and Niners gear head to toe as possible. Matty with the AFC South 3-team banger: Jags, Texans, Colts, all money line, 7-1, 7.17 to 1.
All right, moving on here. We have
this is the third another
this
low.
is it. Jags at Cleveland.
Yeah.
Over under 30.5. We have 3 games right around the 30-point total this week. That's sickening. Jags are a 3-point dog. 59% of the tickets on Cleveland, more of the money on Cleveland as well. Trevor Lawrence, as of today, is still questionable. The Pat McAfee show, they're pretty much saying how this dude's already moving around, looking good. So maybe he plays this weekend, which is crazy to think. If you're the Jags here, party is like, hey, we got to rest him, but you also don't want to give up that. You don't want to give up the lead in the division, because I think the Jags are really going to struggle in the postseason if they have to go on the road versus, win the division and be at home. So it's a tough decision to make with Trevor Lawrence there. Here's what's interesting. Jags 5-0 on the road this season. Browns, though, 5-1 at home. It's very hard to play in Cleveland. Browns are beyond banged up, though. So I like the Jags. I almost made the Jags my dog of the week. I like the Jags to get it done here. We'll see if Trevor Lawrence plays, but Cleveland is just so banged up, man. Amari Cooper, questionable. Kareem Hunt, questionable. They're just hurt everywhere. Denzel Ward, questionable. Browns have, however, covered in their last 7 games at home off a loss. They're 41, 87, and 1 straight up off a loss, though, in their last 129 games. Over is hit in the Jags' last 5 games on the road off a loss. What do you make of this game? Because if you're betting it today, you're pretty much you're not sure who's going to be playing at quarterback for Trevor Lawrence. And
I actually hope it's not
their backup. I believe
CJ from the Niners.
Their backup, his non-throwing arm is injured. He's questionable too.
Oh, CJ? Okay. Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I just saw that today, so I'm like, who? Yeah, it's a mess at the quarterback position right now.
I think you are getting value by jumping on the Jags right now at plus 144. People are a little too low on their defense. I think their defense has a come to Jesus moment and bounces back. This is the perfect offense to do it against, this Cleveland Brown offense. I really like the Jags +3. I really like the Jags plus 144. I hope CJ's playing for them. He is actually a very capable quarterback. I don't think they should rush back. Why would you rush back Lawrence? Like, why? Why would you rush back T-Law? He's their franchise quarterback.
A game, and you have 2 teams that
have
winnable games this weekend that are right behind you.
The season's about more that he is their future, and they need to win this game without him. Let me just say that. For them to even consider themselves a playoff team or a playoff team that can go far in the playoffs, their team needs to buckle down without him and win that game. There is no better offense for the defense to bounce back than this Cleveland Browns offense and the injuries they have faced. I think they're on their 3rd string running back. I don't even know what quarterback they would be up against. I forget at this point. They keep changing if it's XFL guy or what. But yeah, I like Matty's parlay and I like this bet. Jags money line. I like the under too, guys. I really like
a lot of sneaky unders this week.
I like the Cleveland Jacksonville under and the Jets Houston under a lot better than tonight's under.
Yeah. Someone just asked, what's tonight's pick? So we gave it out early in the show, but we both lean Patriots +6 and the over the game. Gino likes the
first
Patriots
half
money line. First half is a nice little value play as well. So, all right, moving on. Division game here: Panthers at Saints. I fucking hate the Carolina Panthers. +5.5 here on the road. Over under 37.5. 56% of the tickets on the Saints here. Saints are 35-17 at home, coming off a loss in the last 52 games. Derek Carr is questionable though. Panthers 9-17 against the spread off a loss in their last 27. Under is hitting 13 of the Panthers' last 20 games off a loss.
I hate the Saints team.
I don't know what the hell to do with either of these teams.
I hate them.
Every week I like the Panthers. Again, it feels like a lot of points again, but they suck, and I'm not willing to bet them. They're 1-11 this year straight up, 2-8-2 against the spread. So they can't win games. They can't cover. They're definitely the most frustrating team this year, in my opinion, to even bet on. What do you like? What do you do with this game?
The Saints have lost me more money this year than any other team.
This game is literally the team that's lost me the most versus the team that's lost you the most.
Dude, it's just filthy. Like, they don't want to win. The Saints don't want to win. They had every chance this year to own the AFC South. Excuse me. They got dominated by Tampa Bay at home. And then Tampa Bay almost not lays on at the end, but lets Panthers back door. And then Panthers had every chance to be a winning team early in the year, and they just refused. So, in the Mercedes Dome, I think the Panthers quarterback's going to struggle. I'm going to just go completely boring division late in the season system, under 37.5. What I think this might even be a 2-unit under for me. I think the value on this under is the fact that the Panthers defense looks a lot better against this pathetic Saints offense. They're pathetic. Their red zone offense is pathetic. They haven't gotten anything going, and their defense is still decent. They had a chance to go up, I think, 9-3, if not 13-3 against Atlanta on that pick 6 on first down. You don't throw a pick 6 on first down. You don't throw that ball if you're a professional quarterback. So I love this under 37.5. It's one of my best plays of the week. And it's on the back of the Panthers defense.
One thing that scares me is Saints offense came alive against the Lions late.
Yeah, I know.
But
that's why we're getting it so high. I think this should, in my opinion, should be the third 32 over under.
Jeez. Moving on here. interesting division game.
Oh,
Seahawks versus
man.
49ers. Seahawks 10.5-point dog here at San Fran.
That's what makes me nervous.
Jamal Adams is questionable. Ray McDonald questionable.
Is Jamal the guy that pulled up that girl, a photo of like a guy's wife or something?
Yes.
Is that Jamal?
Yeah, he on Twitter or something.
Slime.
Niners are 14-5 against the spread coming off a win. They're also 40-18-1 at home, straight up off a win in their last 59 games. Are you scared at all that this is a letdown spot after winning at Philly, coming off that high?
It's not even just, and I'm also scared because we played the Seahawks 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that's really close. There should be rules in the NFL. They don't know how to make schedules. It's like a child with crayons can do a better schedule. One of the sharpest plays of the week when the lines came out, I don't know if you guys know, the lines get released late Sunday night, sometimes Monday morning, depending on injuries. One of the sharpest plays was Seahawks plus 12.5. It immediately moved down to 10. And now the public's brought it back up a little bit. I'm showing it at 11 right this second. So if the Seahawks at plus 12.5, not that valuable of a point, but it's okay. More points the merrier. Was one of the sharpest plays of the week that they jumped all over. I can't like the Niners minus 11. Like there's not enough room for error there. So I think the only way you can bet this game is the Seahawks plus 11 and maybe the over. Seahawks offense looked a lot better. They've gotten healthier. I believe they're going to be able to pass a little bit on the Niners secondary, and I don't see anyone stopping the Niners from scoring at this point. The Eagles had the perfect weather. They know us well. They were getting at the quarterback early to scare them, and we found a way to have breakout games. I just don't. There's no way we don't score 30. The Niners just score 30. I don't know how many games this year, but we score 30, and that's what we do. So, something ugly, 30-20, Niners.
Yeah,
30-24.
I mean, the Seahawks are coming off of a 35-point game
Against Dallas's good defense.
Yeah. I think San Fran's defense is going to show up here for some reason.
I hope so.
Like they just held them to 13 2 weeks ago. But even like, Seattle at LA, they only scored 16. At Baltimore only scored 3. So like this Seattle team isn't scoring well on the road outside of that Dallas game. At Cincinnati, they only scored 13.
That gives me hope for your Eagles this week.
Yeah.
That Seattle was able to put that much up against Dallas.
Yeah, I kind of like the under here. And again, that's that division under season. I could kind of see a sneaky under here because both these teams are scoring a lot recently. And I think this number is just a little high for a division game. I think it's like it should be like a 44.5 type of number. So I like the under 47 here, even though it is scary.
And I'll feed Seattle.
Moving on here, Vikings at Vegas. Vikings a 3-point favorite here, over under 40.5. 60% of the tickets are on the Raiders here, but more of the money on the Vikings. Max Crosby is questionable for the Raiders here. That's a big injury to keep an eye on here. Under his hit in 6 of the Vikings' last 7 games off a loss. Raiders are 6-14 at home, coming off a loss.
Are they both off the bye here?
I
think so. Pretty sure they're both off the bye. I think you could buy the Vikings a little low here. I don't know. The Raiders, they came out 2 weeks ago, looked decent, up 14-0 against the Chiefs, and then they lay down. They're supposed to be a top defense.
Yeah, both off the bye.
And they're supposed to be a top defense, and they literally let Kansas City look like the old Kansas City. In a division game with a chance for them to be in a playoff hunt, have a wild card spot into a bye, and the Raiders just got decimated. I don't remember, 14-0 to whatever the end score was, like a 3-30 run. So I'm kind of selling the Raiders now. I think they pack it in. The cigars and all the fun's over. They had a chance to really ride a high into a bye, and they gave it up. And I think people are selling Dobbs a little early. I lost money going against Dobbs 3 weeks ago. I'm going to buy Dobbs low now. People have basically said, hey, the parade's over for Dobbs, and he'll go back to NASA or whatever. It's again, a little chalky, a little square, but this is one of the favorites I'm actually buying back into. I really like the Vikings -3, and I really like the Vikings money line.
Yeah, the only thing with the Raiders is they're literally playing. They're here at home playing for their season, right? They're 5-7. If you got to think if they go to 5-8 here,
They're done.
it's going to be tough, right? Vikings are 6-6 though, so
They're
they're fighting for a wild card too. I think both teams off the bye, two teams fighting for their season. I look at the under 40.5. I could see like 2017 final. Maybe Minnesota pulls it out 2017. So I like the under as my best bet of the game.
And the only reason why I'm selling or buying the Vikings so high, guys, what I saw the Raiders defense allow Kansas City to do, I think the Vikings can do the same thing.
Moving on. Broncos at Chargers. Broncos 2.5-point dog, over under 44. 85% of the tickets are on Denver here. Joey Bosa on the IR for the Chargers. Broncos 1-4-1 against the spread off a loss. Broncos are also 6-15 off a loss in their last 21 games. Chargers coming off of that 6-0 win at New England, with the Broncos coming off of a 22-17 loss. Both defenses are playing pretty well lately.
Yeah.
Another division game, over under 44. Like, what do you think here?
I have a pretty good record when I'm on the Chargers. I gave them out as my squares play of last week. I think they were -5 and they won by 6. I think that's what happened. So I'm going to ride the Chargers still. I actually think the Chargers, second to maybe the Bills, they're neck and neck, are the highest ranked teams in my power rankings with the shittiest records. They just haven't been able to get it all together at any time. And this is it for the Chargers. If they don't win this game, their season's done. I'm pretty sure a coach's head would roll after this game. It's in division. So getting a lot of division matchups. So this is going to be back-to-back weeks where I'm on the Chargers. And then unlike last week where it was a little square, I believe you're actually on the right side. You're going to be fading a lot of the public. A lot of the public's going to still buy in to Broncos country. Let's ride. So I'll happily take that 2.5. I'll happily take that -127 money line.
Yeah, I just like the under in this game. I feel like I like a lot of unders this week, which scares me, but I think there's a lot of good unders out there.
Maybe I was off by a week. Maybe this is the week that just sweeps.
Yeah, might be.
There's some crazy ones.
All right, moving on.
A lot of live dogs.
I have my best bet of the week in this game.
Yes.
Buffalo Bills at Kansas City. Bills a 1.5-point dog, over under 48.5. 65% of the tickets are on Buffalo. More of the money is on Kansas City. Isaiah Pacheco, questionable with that shoulder injury. Chiefs 17-2 off a loss in their last 19. They're 1-4 against the spread at home, though, off a loss in their last 5. Under is hit in 17 of the Bills' last 24 games. What do you like here before I give the best bet?
Love the Bills. Love the under.
My best bet is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Don't do it.
I'm with you on the under, though.
Yeah,
I'm with you on the under, but this is more of a narrative play for me.
I'm stuck.
So here's what I'm gonna. My narrative here is the Buffalo Bills and their coaching staff has lost the locker room. Right, Doug McDermott, the weirdest shit ever, brought up 9/11 remarks in their locker room. Right, he's being like questioned about it today. Some weird ass shit. Von Miller, assault charge. Bills losing games they shouldn't lose. I believe right now, this is my bold prediction. I believe the Chiefs win this game at home. The Bills' offense looks like shit, and they fire Doug McDermott. That's my prediction.
Oh, the only thing is here, I think everyone's going to be on the Chiefs. I really do. I don't know.
More tickets are on the Bills so far.
Yeah. The Bills Mafia is strong. They bet them every week. So Matty's giving you his play of the week. This is not my play of the week. It's not even on my card. I'm going to bet this game for fun. I'm going to give out the Bills to trash talk people because I hate the Chiefs for beating us in the Super Bowl. What I'll say here, and I'll leave this, is I'm pot committed to the Bills because I projected a Niners versus Bills Super Bowl. And this is they have a gauntlet the next 3 or 4 weeks. You want to read the Bills' schedule? It's
at Kansas City versus Dallas, at Chargers.
Yeah, and then Miami. They should be dogs in 4 of their last 5 games. Maybe not for that Miami. 3 of their last 5 games. They're not looking good to make the playoffs, and they need to win this game or they are absolutely eliminated from the playoffs.
And you're running up against Andy Reid and Mahomes off a loss, which
Yeah.
never goes well for
Ever.
teams. I think it's a no-brainer Kansas City spot because everything Gino just said is what everyone's going to be thinking. The Bills have to win this game. But I'm telling you, I think they're losing the locker room. I think you're going to see a coaching change, whether it's after this loss or later in the season. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's time for a new era in Buffalo when it comes to coaching. And I trust Kansas City's defense and their ability to get it done at home here, especially off the loss. So I got to lock it in. That's what you're trying to pull up.
Oh, no, that's moving it. That's perfect.
So I'm on the Chiefs. Gino's on the Bills. I think we both lean the under here. 48.5 is a big number in this game.
It is, and it moved up to 49.
Yeah. All right, moving on here. Eagles versus Cowboys, game of the week here, Sunday Night Football. Eagles are a 3-point dog. I believe it might be down now to 2.5. Cowboys
3.5.
3.5 on betopenly.com right now. If you guys want
Plus
that,
163.
go take it on BetOpenly right now. Eagles plus 3.5, over under 51.5. 79% of the tickets are on Dallas here. More of the money is on Philly, though. Fletcher Cox is questionable in this spot. Cowboys 38-19 at home off a win in their last 57 games. Over is hit in 33 of the Eagles' last 50 on the road off a loss. And the Cowboys have covered in their last 5 games versus the Eagles at home. So before I give you guys who I like, I will say one thing. I want to ask you his opinion on this. The over in this game, it's 51.5. It's a little higher, but the last 3 games in Dallas for this matchup, 40-34, 41-21, 37-17.
Well,
3 straight overs in Dallas. The games are always lower scoring in Philly and higher scoring in Dallas. It's hard to not like the over in this spot.
Dallas is a different team, I'm sure. They're faster on both sides of the ball. So let's start with the good news. Eagles money line plus 163 is my official dog of the week. I see too much value in it. Too many people forget this is now a 10-2 team. A lot of people might not know, but I'm pretty sure they'll get pretty adept to it. The Eagles lose this game. They actually are in 5th place, and they no longer own the East. Dallas does. So those 2 reasons put me at the Eagles went from 10-1 to potentially a wild card overnight. I don't see it happening. So I think the Eagles show back up. I think Jalen shows back up. I don't have a crazy over-under lean. Unfortunately, I'm going to go against Matty. If you made me bet this over-under, it's going to be the under, and this is purely on the ability to shut down Dak. I think the world is too high on Dak the last couple weeks.
This is a big pressure spot for Dak here.
I think the Eagles are going to get at Dak. Dak does not do well with pressure. He does well on the move, out of the pocket. I think the Eagles sack Dak a bunch of times. So that's my narrative for all of you. Dog of the week, Eagles plus 163. Dak sacked a ton. And the new narrative is what's up with Dak. Why can't he handle pressure? Because that's what I see him doing. He's imploding, throwing a pick 6, maybe 2 interceptions, taking a bunch of sacks, and the Eagles keeping the NFC West or East, excuse me.
Dak Prescott, if you're watching this,
When you
don't fuck it up, because that's what you're gonna do when it comes down to it. The pressure is on you, Dak. Sunday Night Football at home in Jerry World, the whole world watching. One game to take over the division. What could go wrong for the Dallas Cowboys? I need to put this hat backwards.
there it is.
What could go wrong for the Dallas Cowboys at home with the entire world watching in prime time? They're going to fuck it up.
30-20 final, Eagles.
They're going to fuck it up.
30-20 Eagles. Dak pick 6. Dak a second interception. Dak sacked a gang of times.
I like it. Music to my ears. All right, we got 2 Monday Night Football games here.
Can someone tell me why we have 2 Monday Night Football games?
I don't know.
Like we stopped. We had that like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and then it stopped. Does anyone in the comments know why there's 2 Monday Night Football games?
Up first, we got Packers versus the Giants. Giants are coming off the bye week here, I believe. Packers 6.5-point favorite on the road, over under 36.5. Jair Alexander is questionable. Aaron Jones questionable. Christian Watson questionable. Packers have a ton of injuries here. I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to make this Packers team a 6.5-point road favorite against anyone coming off a bye. So I'm G-Men here, and I hate back in the G-Men.
Yeah. I think the Packers are showing. I moved them up, I think, to 12th in my power rankings. They're kind of nasty. Their quarterback Love's looking like a dog. Now, they didn't need to draft him when they did. That was a waste of Aaron Rodgers' talent, but they did. This is just so tough, but I'll go back to one of my oldest systems you all know me for, home dog in prime time. I like the Giants here plus 6.5. I do think Packers minus 6.5 is going to be one of the most overbet games up until that kickoff. I think the Giants defense is still decent. Yeah. Man, this is going to be a tough one. And God, this is so many damn low unders. I'll do home division dogs at the under. Yeah.
So many unders in the 30s.
I don't know. Even 2017 gets that over. Okay, scrap that under. Giants, Packers, 2017 Packers win.
Yeah. The points make sense here. So I'm taking the points. That's it. I'm not touching that total. Last game of the week, Titans at Dolphins, 13.5-point spread here, over under 46.5. What do you do with this game right here? Derrick Henry is questionable with a head injury. Mike Vrabel is a dog, typically a good spot, but I just don't know how they really keep up scoring here. I kind of like Dolphins first half, minus 7.5. I just think they come out strong here at home. They're so good at home.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how the Titans keep up offensively, and Dolphins defense is coming on too. So
yeah.
I like minus 7.5 first half, and then I would stay away from the total in case of a backdoor.
Yeah, I think this is a game. So I love the Dolphins here. I think on defense, they shut down the Titans completely. And no one's going to stop them on offense. So I really like the Dolphins. I'm going under on that Packers-Giants game. Excuse me, over on the Packers-Giants game. I'm going to go under on this game. And I think this under only hits because the Titans don't do anything. The Titans score 10. So it's something like 30-10. That's where I have this game. 33-10, 30-10, 27-10. So I like the Dolphins and the under.
I like it. All right, that's the last game of the week. We got Trev coming on.
Okay.
We're missing Trev for player props. If you guys have any questions, drop them in. We'll give him a couple minutes right here. But if you're tuning in just now, you're about to watch Thursday Night Football. We'll give you guys some insight there. So for Thursday Night Football, Gino and I both lean the Patriots +6 here at Pittsburgh. And Gino's also on the first half money line.
And the first half over.
I lean the over in the game. I just think 30.5, come on. Figure it out.
We can wrap this up. I can give Trevor's play of the day if you guys want that sleeper. So for this Thursday night game, Trevor actually gave out the tight end for the Hunter Henry as the first touchdown. Oh, well, he's here now. I won't speak for him. Trev, I was just giving out your Hunter Henry first touchdown. Trev, can you speak up?
No, they can hear him. We can't hear him.
Oh.
How about now?
Yeah. Good.
All right. So we have to start off with the most important part of this show tonight, and we have to talk about how good Matty looks in 49ers gear.
All right, I'm going to head out.
He's a supermodel. Hey, I didn't even tell you the best part, Matty. I had 3 guys DM me and said, did Matty cancel the show this week? They thought we didn't move from Tuesday to Thursday. They thought Matty canceled the show. So that was pretty funny. I was like, no, Matty's a man of his word. He wouldn't cancel the show over an L.
You looked good in it, buddy. So I had to get my chirp in.
Trev, tell us about Hunter Henry tonight and how many ways you're betting him.
Yeah, so he's right. Look at the lineup New England's putting out. I mean, it's bad. Somebody has to catch the ball. And they have the last 3 games, they've given up a bunch of yards to tight ends. Trey McBride hit him, right? Who he's had some good games, but they're giving up stuff. I mean, Njoku had DTR throwing him the ball, and he went for 56, and then Musgrave had 64 before he got hurt. So this is just a spot to attack. He's had good lineup. He's had good chemistry with him. So we are betting him first touchdown. So we're going to go first. We're 5 for our last 7 on first TDs. I'd love to stay hot there on that. We got that earlier today for plus 1,900. Now this is sprinkle, boys, but right now you can get him for an anytime touchdown plus 650 to plus 700, depending upon what book you have access to. So we like Hunter tonight. I think there will be some points on the board. They're just the whole earth is on the under, and I get it, but there's still NFL teams playing. I think there's going to be some points, and then my sneaky one I'm going to give out for the show here. So these are DD members got this, but this is for anybody listening right now. I won't make it public to anybody else, but if you're listening, Allen Robinson tonight of Pittsburgh for an anytime touchdown is plus 1,100 at DK right now. It is plus 500 at Caesars. You have to remember he played with Mitch in Chicago, so they know each other. He knows how he's going to run his routes, and they're using him, as a third receiver. I get you got Pat, you got Pickett, you got DJ. I understand. But in this situation, if he's under pressure, A-Rob's in, there's just too much value. If I could see, from plus 500 to plus 1,100, that's telling me somebody went and smashed it over at Caesar. So go jump on that if you're listening.
What's the line that you like him for a touchdown?
Anytime touchdown. So Allen Robinson of the Steelers for a touchdown tonight.
Yeah,
it's plus 1,100.
1,100. Got it.
Yeah, it's plus 1,000 to 1,100 at most books, but it moved to plus 500 at Caesars, which means somebody smashed it. Somebody went and smashed the prop. So that tells me I like it. And I just want to know how many degenerates are betting no touchdowns in this game. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Do people mention that? The fact that one happened last week, they're so rare. Don't do it.
So I'm going to talk about Philly Dallas because now we have some more access to stuff. I'm on Philly this week. They're going to come back. I think they're going to pop Dallas, and I like Jalen Hurts overs this week. I think Jalen's going to be in a good spot. I really like his. So one of the most mispriced props of the week right now, though, is on the Monday night game with the New York Jets. So you say, hey, it's the Jets. Come on. Like, is that really where we want to go here? Yes. Garrett Wilson has 4.5 reception prop right now at Bet Openly at plus 104, and it's minus 110 to minus 115. Zach Wilson is back in. And in the next 5 to 10 years, there's going to be very few times we get to bet Garrett Wilson at 4.5 receptions. He's averaging close to 6 this season, despite quarterback play. He's had 6 games with 7 or more, including 2 with 9. This is just a spot. Zach Wilson is going to throw him the ball. They're going to have to get the offense to him. So I really like this spot here for Garrett Wilson. And I know I said Monday night. I know it's the early game on Sunday. I was looking at a different game. Sorry.
And I talk about Robert Saleh, the guy, you and I like from the Niner days. How bad has he mismanaged the quarterback situation?
I mean, I don't understand why he went the route he went. And I just don't get it. Like, go sign anybody off the street besides doing what they did, or leave Zach Wilson in. He's better than anybody they have on the team. I get he was like, hey, we're trying to make a change, blah, blah, blah. But man, that was just like Trevor Siemian should have been in. Like Tim Boyle should have never started. I don't understand it. And one of the things I like about this Jets game is, right, it's this Shanny tree, right? We got DeMarco, we got Selah, right? Like they're all coming from the 49ers Shanny tree. And I think they're going to bring out the stops, and the Jets are going to try to make this competitive. You can throw on Houston, and Houston's going to push the ball. This game really matters for the Texans in their playoff spot. So Houston's going to throw the rock, and I get it. It's the Jets. They got a good secondary. But I think game script's going to lead to there, and I think that prop is the most mispriced prop we've seen this season.
I like it, brother. So that's a bold prediction for everyone listening. Trev just gave you his number one mispriced prop. Last thing before we close out the show, we're at the over on this game. I actually like the over the first half better than the game. Danny, once we post this live, or it's live, but you can go back. There's actually chapters. We give out every play on the entire game. Trev, any other plays before we close this out?
Yeah, I'll give one more just because I'll give a Niners pick. We'll be on Debo this week. Debo just eats against the Seahawks. Like, it's just the way it is. Go look at his last 7 games. Like, Debo had a big game last week. He's going to have one again this week. I love Debo on this spot. And I'm excited for the Bills-Chiefs game.
I like it, my dudes. And then one more thing before we jump. This is my wife's least favorite shirt that I own. It's a 1980s nasty Niners shirt. It's even uglier on the back. It's fire, Jared. I know you're going to order it tonight. Well, that's our show, my dudes. Appreciate you all chiming in. We got the whole slate covered. We got tonight with accurate lines and odds. We gave out a gang of plays. Trev's been 5 of 7 on his first TDs. So the homie might come through with that. A lot of value. Hit us up on social media. We're very responsive on all channels. Later, homies.